We are now joined by Eli Chavez, reporter for the Boston Business Journal, our partners here at WBZ. Eli, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
I'm really excited to let our viewers know about this article that you wrote because I'm already in. So let's jump into this story that you reported on. It's actually about a new docuseries partially recorded on Martha's Vineyard, and it focuses on startup founders from historically Black colleges and universities, or HBCUs, and they're trying to get funding for their project. So talk to us about what you found out about this.
Yeah, so it's really interesting. So the docuseries focuses on four startups that have either participated in or are currently participating in the Next Cubed Accelerator, which is a San Francisco-based venture capital firm. And the whole basis of that venture capital firm is that they invest in startups with at least one founder from an HBCU. The startups span a couple different industries and include startups that are focused on a couple different things like digital health, ed tech. One of them helps to build self-esteem among young kids, and another helps women of color identify and find health resources that are culturally sensitive to what they need. So they really span the gamut there, but it's all about how they can find funding in a funding scarce world.
Now, what I thought was very interesting is that the backdrop for the series is in Martha's Vineyard, and the Black history on Martha's Vineyard is so rich. So the fact that Martha's Vineyard is the location, that's like a character all on its own. Can you talk about how Martha's Vineyard is involved in the docuseries?
Yeah, absolutely. So what's interesting is that they kicked off filming in Martha's Vineyard, but actually be the place for the last episode. So they're filming a little bit in reverse there. But a large part of the decision to film in Martha's Vineyard is to kind of have a space for the startups to give and present their demos, right? When I was speaking with Terrence Battle, the managing director of NextCube, he was telling us at the Business Journal that they decided to film on Martha's Vineyard because he saw it as the best play pool to showcase the firm and give the startups kind of the best chance to network and connect. Most specifically because it becomes a hub for financiers, consultants, and a lot of people from the New England area, including venture funds and private equity professionals who vacation there. So really just getting their startups and the people participating in that accelerator in front of investors and networking opportunities seemed like a really big decision to start filming in Martha's Vineyard.
Okay. Now we know that anyone trying to get a business off the ground, what really makes people apprehensive or sometimes keeps them from pursuing their dream at all is the capital, getting the funding, getting the money is always the toughest part. Talk to us about the statistics when it comes to Black founders and the challenges that they're facing, especially here in Boston and the Boston area.
Yeah, definitely. It seems as though Black founders are continuing to face challenging times when it comes to funding, and that's no different in 2024. According to some data from Crunchbase, funding for startups with Black founders has actually reached a multi-year low, with only 0.4% of all funding going to startups with a Black founder or co-founder. And on top of that, Black founders are seeing very little of the money coming in from the AI boom that we're all seeing right now. In fact, none of the US AI startups that raised $100 million or more in funding last year were Black funded companies. And that national trend is consistent with what we've seen in Boston in the past couple of years. For instance, in 2023, capital raised by Black founders in the state of Massachusetts dropped by 88%. And on top of that, less than 0.1% of overall funding for Massachusetts businesses went to Black founders in 2023 as well. So it's really challenging to get that funding, and that kind of keeps dropping. We'll have to wait until kind of the beginning of 2026 to see what that trend looks like for this year in total.
And that makes the docuseries even more important because it will help to like pull back the curtain and help people to see the challenges and the difficulties that Black founders are dealing with right now, and maybe why you're not seeing more of them, right? Because You might have your ideas about what's going on, or maybe for some it might be out of sight, out of mind, but it seems like the docuseries will help people to, if nothing else, learn and understand more about what's going on right now.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
Is there anything else that is important for viewers to understand about this that I did not ask you?
I think, and this is something that I spoke with the director and like I said, Terrence Battle, the one of the managing directors at Next Cubed about, and we kind of spoke about not just highlighting the struggles that, these Black founders face when it comes to funding disparities and things of that nature, but also the talent coming out of these, Black founders and what they're able to contribute. And the director for the project, Ligeria Davis, said that she wanted to not just bring visibility to the issue, but she really wanted to help the founders establish equity, ownership, and legacy of what they're working on. And I think that is a really important aspect of it all as well. I think we can tend to stay focused on a lot of the struggles and not a lot of what, they're building with their talent and the legacy that they'll leave for Black founders to come. So hopefully, we both this series and this project gets to bring awareness to the issue of the scarcity for, Black entrepreneurs, and it also hopefully will allow aspiring Black entrepreneurs to see who's out there and see what they're doing and try their hand at it themselves.
Yeah, and I think also too, it allows maybe someone who hasn't jumped into this space yet, right? To see people that look like them and be like, okay, like maybe I should give it a try. Let me see how far I can go. So it
Ab
does always help to see people that look like you in spaces that you desire to be in. So I think this could help with that too.
yeah, undoubtedly. It's important to see yourself in the places you've been told you don't belong in sometimes.
Absolutely. Well, Eli Chavez from the Boston Business Journal, we thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time today. Until next time,
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
thank you.